After an incredible year in cinema, 2015 certainly has a lot to live up to, and it is promising to say the least. It was incredibly hard to narrow this list down to just 10, and while these films won't necessarily be in my top 10 by the end of the year, they're the films I'm certainly most excited for based on what we know, but there are still 3 honorable mentions. First off, we have St. James Place releasing this October, a film that we don't know much about, but it's directed by Steven Spielberg, written by the Coen brothers, stars Tom Hanks, and the music will be composed by John Williams, 4 essential thespians of their respective fields, really making me excited for this film. And then we have Mission Impossible 5. Despite the fact that I'm a huge fan of the franchise, including Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, there was some recent set footage shown of Tom Cruise hanging to the side of a plane, an incredibly elaborate stunt similar to that of the Burj Khalifa, something that got me very excited for this film. And finally, Tomorrowland, a film directed by Brad Bird, whose filmography is absolutely fantastic, and the teaser trailer alone got me really excited for the sense of wonder that the film might possess. And now for the top 10. Coming in at number 10, we have Furious 7. While I'm not the biggest fan of the franchise, including the previous 2 installments, the very inclusion of Jason Statham almost seems perfect. Furthermore, I want to witness the send-off to Paul Walker really come to fruition, and the fact is that the trailer got me incredibly excited because I get the impression that the franchise is really embracing the bizarreness of what it really is. Coming in at number 9 is The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. While the franchise has not been incredibly consistent, I absolutely loved Catching Fire, and the previous installment was certainly a treat to witness, and where that left off is making me very intrigued to really witness where the rest of the franchise goes, considering the fact that I've not really read the books. And in at number 8 is the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. The first film, which came out in 2004, was by far one of my favorite films of that year, and certainly one of the funniest films I've seen over the past decade. And the fact is, I'm a huge fan of the television series, and the new spin that they have in this film, having the characters come above water, is something I cannot wait to see. In at number 7 is 007 Spectre. The fact is that I'm a huge fan of the James Bond franchise as a whole, and ever since Daniel Craig came to be James Bond, I've been a big fan of Casino Royale and Skyfall, and the very director of Skyfall has returned to this project now with the inclusion of Christoph Waltz and Dave Bautista, and of course the very organization of Spectre. I want to see the direction in which they take Spectre within this newly created world. Coming in at number 6 is David O. Russell's Joy, which stars Jennifer Lawrence, is in fact his third collaboration with her in a row, and it speaks of Joe Manganiello, the inventor of the Miracle Mop. And after his past 3 films, including American Hustle, which was my favorite film of last year, I'm definitely intrigued to see what David O. Russell can do with this new story, and of course, bring a great amount of heart and character at the center of it. At number 5, we have Pixar's Inside Out. While I'm excited for the other Pixar film next year, The Good Dinosaur, we know far more about Inside Out. The fact is, it's directed by the director of Up and written by the writer of Toy Story 3. Furthermore, the story in and of itself is incredibly intriguing to me, speaking of the 5 emotions within a teenager's mind, and the scene that was crafted and displayed to us in the very trailer was one of the most geniusly created scenes I have seen in a very long time. In at number 4, we have Marvel's Ant-Man, a film that did go through trouble during the development process with the replacement of the beloved Edgar Wright. Nonetheless, the cast and crew have really been supportive of the film all the way through, and the fact is, after the past year that Marvel's had with Captain America the Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy, I have utmost faith in what they're going to do, and I'm certainly excited to witness another great Marvel film. And then at number 3, we have Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight, slated for a unconfirmed December 2015 release. The very synopsis of this film alone really seems to bring about an incredibly eclectic set of characters, something I'm interested in witnessing, something that Quentin Tarantino can always execute. Furthermore, after his past 2 films, Inglourious Basterds and Django Unchained being a western, The Hateful Eight being a western as well, I cannot wait to see what he does next because he's certainly one of my favorite directors working today. And now the top 2, which are easily interchangeable. I had such a hard time deciding which would be 2 and which would be 1, but the way that I have decided it to be is that coming in number 2, I have Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, I am a massive Star Wars fan. The fact is, the original trilogy is fantastic, and while a lot of people don't like the prequel trilogy per se, I am certainly a fan of those films, especially Revenge of the Sith, and now with the latest teaser trailer that I in fact got to witness in the theater itself, The very tone of what I love about Star Wars seems to be returning, and I'm interested in the set of characters that's going to be brought about, and in fact the very feel and atmosphere that J.J. Abrams seems to be creating within this film is something in tandem with what I love about the franchise so far. It's been a dream of mine for this franchise to return, as I am still of a relatively younger age, so I cannot wait to see Star Wars Episode 7 in the theater. And coming in at number 1, we have Avengers Age of Ultron. As I mentioned earlier, I am a huge fan of what Marvel's been doing, and the fact is I love the original Avengers film, and to now see that and the past few films really culminate into this film, wherein we know what storylines the future of the universe is really going to undertake, really gets me excited to see Marvel's next step. Furthermore, the trailer itself presented a really interesting and almost eerie tone, to say the least, and I'm interested in seeing more depth that Joss Whedon will really explore with regards to each character and the villainous Ultron really come to fruition on screen. And that's my top 10 list. Be sure to comment below with regards to the films that you're looking forward to next year, and here's to another great year in cinema.